You guys know who Taika Waititi is, of course.
Yeah. He's from New Zealand.
Was Taika named after that Taika?
Yeah.
Was he?
Oh, really?
Named after him?
Mm-hmm. Well, 'cause you know what Titi is?
Waititi, that's his last name.
Titi?
So you guys named Taika after Taika Waititi, like in honor of him?
No, not in honor of him. Like, we liked his name. We thought it was a really cool name. Yeah. And then so in the name list that we came up with, like Taika just stood out. So it was like, oh, let's use Taika too.
Taika Waititi has been arrested for killing a family of 7.
It's a lot of people.
All right, well,
Humor.
I'm gonna change his name to
Waititi.
Christopher Nolan.
Another good director. Ted Bundy Kwan. Steven Spielberg.
Can't trip him up.
I think it's a name of a Japanese emperor or something too.
Yeah, that's what we looked it up. It's a name that exists in like I think like 37 languages.
Wow.
So we're like, oh,
So if you could ditch this one, you could probably say it's because of some other reason.
Yeah.
I just can't believe you give up on that name so fast. Yeah, dude. Because I was lying. I was lying, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That what a relief, huh?
I didn't change it yet. So.
Taika Waititi had a bit of a slip up during a conversation with Natalie Portman about his upcoming gig. He is directing a Star Wars film.
That's sick.
So he offered her, he's like, hey, how'd you like to be in a Star Wars movie? Which is kind of wild because
He's like, hypothetically.
Natalie Portman was the star of the first 3, technically
Second
Star Wars
first.
movies. The first
Second
3.
third.
The first 3.
Yeah.
But that's like when the CG got good. 3.
That is what it got really good in 3.
I miss the fucking old school style of like
Just
just
puppets.
like props and just set design and
So you're
like
talking about episode 4, 5, and 6?
the first 3.
Yeah, because that's when the CGI came in for 1, 2, and 3.
I don't like CGI, dude.
Jar Jar Binks wasn't a puppet.
Jar Jar
No,
Binks.
Jar Jar was.
I don't like CGI.
I'm a fan of Jar Jar Binks, by the way.
Steve's gonna punch you in the fucking face, dude.
And you know what else?
Let's go, brother!
Hulk up, brother.
I miss the 70s idea of what the future is. That's what Star Wars is. Is that fucking
That's because back then the future had promise and hope.
Yeah, now it's all fudge.
They made Blade Runner around that time, like the 80s, right?
lot of dirt, lot of desert.
Yeah.
The future is a lot of desert. But it's their idea of the tech. Because then now, like, if you see all the CG and shit, it actually looks like the future. Because the 20,000s idea of the future.
Wait, so you think that Star Wars is supposed to look like the future? But then, but if you watch Star Wars, like the Millennium Falcon looks like shit. Like all the tech and stuff looks
All the
all dusty and
buttons.
old, and just like little green buttons. Yeah, it looks all old.
That's why I like it.
No, but Star Trek was the one that was trying to look like the future, where it's all like clean and nice and shit.
The new Star Trek movies are tight though.
They're pretty tight. Hey, the old ones are tight.
You like the new Star Trek movies?
You ever see Wrath of Khan?
We're talking about the new Star Trek movies?
No, the Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever. Yeah. That's my favorite Star Trek movie. But the new one, the first Star Trek movie,
first one
with
was really good.
Chris Pine was fucking bomb.
I like the new ones. They were cool. I don't think I watched the third one, but I definitely watched the first 2. I mean 3, right?
The first one was really good. The second
First
one was
one
not as good. The
is
third
whatever.
one was not as good.
These are the J.J. Abrams ones.
Yeah. I like the first 2 on those. I like the unmotivated lens flares.
So what are your guys' takes on the prequels? Because like Natalie Portman, she took it in stride. She was like, "Yo, I've been in a Star Wars movie, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?"
And he forgot?
Yeah, he forgot. Because I think that happens to some people. Because there was fans of the OG Star Wars, right? And then there was the prequels, which I think mostly our generation absorbed the prequels. Our parents all thought was fucking whack.
I thought it was whack.
I liked it, but it was
The
because
Anakin Skywalker shit.
Yeah, but I was a kid.
I liked it as a kid.
Because I remember going to a movie theater with my mom to watch it at like 7 years old, and like seeing that on the big screen was fucking cool.
Or I remember the idea of going to was it McDonald's Happy Meals that had the pod racers?
Yeah, but
They had that toy that opened up, and there's like a whole little thing like where they're doing lightsaber fights.
And they had the Pod Racer game. You play the game.
The pod racer game. I would only be able to demo it in the fucking game stores. You know when you go to GameStop and just play it there?
But dude, I thought I was a fucking Jedi because I was like, I'm going 600 miles an hour, but I am in control. I was like, yeah, that's impossible.
I feel like this is how you can tell like how just being a couple years apart can fuck it all up with the memories. Because then when you're a teenager, you're just too fucking cool. And then when you were a kid, you remember the OG Star Wars shit, and you're like, that was the dope stuff. And then when you're a kid and you're a stupid little kid and you like Anakin Skywalker and shit and do all that stuff, and then you think that's cool, the teenagers look at you and say, you're a lame ass kid.
I was a teenager though, but I was like 13, so.
I remember watching the 3rd episode in theaters, and I thought that was a little weird. Like I laughed at the part where Anakin gets set on fire because it just seemed goofy to me. But up until that point, I think I hate you.
It was very dramatic.
You are my brother.
But 1 and 2, I liked 1 and 2 when I saw them in theaters. I remember seeing it in theaters. But now looking back at it, I was like, oh, that is a little weird.
But you don't like this new generation of diversity and women empowerment?
Dude, Princess Leia was in power, bitch. Why does everyone say that shit? It's so funny. Nobody watched the first Star Wars movies?
Plus, what's
brother hard,
the
dude.
black dude in the most recent one?
John Boyega.
Boyega.
What was his Finn?
Finn.
I felt like the entire arc was about to be about him, and then in the second movie they just ditched his
They fucked
storyline.
him. They fucked him so hard. It was
real interesting character arc that we got
the
rid
most
of.
interesting character arc in that whole series.
Yeah, so what happened to the diversity there? Like,
I
what
actually
the?
like The Force Awakens because I was like, okay, it's kind of a reboot of the other ones that I've seen, but like I remember being a kid and seeing it in theaters and being like, okay, so there's like some like 5-year-old here that's gonna.
Best Star Wars movies in the last 20 years, in my opinion, Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Period. And that wasn't even like the episodic arc. That was like a side story to fill in some information and make some money.
I want to see more Star Wars movies that are like just war movies in space. Like, 'cause, like when they were going in on the fucking.
You want to get back to the wars and get away from the star.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hey, let's talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. You want to go?
You want to talk about Obi-Wan?
Okay, so I think my problem is I'm just such a fan. He's my literally favorite character in all of Star
He
Wars.
is. Likewise. Same.
Obi-Wan
Same.
Kenobi?
Yes.
Right. So
More of a Mace Windu guy.
fuck you, bro.
Jar Jar Binks kind of guy, dude.
Apparently, there's a lot of Jar Jar love going around.
I thought Jar Jar was silent.
Although, are you really saying that, or is it because of what Ahmed Best went through? Because Ahmed Best almost killed himself, which is so sad.
Is Ahmed Best the guy who played Jar Jar?
Yeah, he played Jar Jar.
He almost
yeah.
killed himself?
He was such a genuine guy.
Because everyone hated Jar Jar.
They gave him so much hate.
And like he was expecting because like you're filming this movie and like you got George Lucas who's like one of the greatest legends ever in filmmaking.
They even accused that of racism because they're saying like Jar Jar was representing minorities and shit.
Yeah, so that's going on, but you got George pumping you up,
alien.
gassing you the fuck up. You got Liam Neeson laughing at your bits on set. So you're thinking like this is gonna be tight for me, right?
Neeson,
and then
Jar Jar Binks.
the movie comes out, everyone shits completely on one person, and it was him, right? And so he took on all that.
Scapegoat.
But the thing is, kids love Jar Jar though.
Right.
It was just the fucking fans and the fucking geeks hated Jar Jar.
Yeah, the people who were like too old for the movies loved.
Obviously, I don't fucking have a poster of Jar Jar in my room or anything. I'm just saying I think he was like memorable.
He was lovable, dude. He was like fucking Groot.
I'm just asking because
But Obi-Wan,
Obi-Wan was my favorite. Yeah.
Who plays Obi-Wan?
Ewan McGregor and Alec
it.
Guinness.
Ewan McGregor is
the
so
OG one.
sick.
If you hear what Alec Guinness said about Star Wars, he was like,
does
bro,
fucking whack.
bro, I did so many fucking cool things in my career, and all I remember before is being fucking this like space samurai.
Yeah.
Look at Charlton Heston, right? He did so many movies. He was the most like accredited actor for his time. Well, he's remembered mostly for a meme where he's kissing a monkey.
Well, I mean, Planet of the Apes is pretty iconic though.
Kissing a monkey.
You damn dirty apes!
Yeah,
you
but-
blew it all up.
The monkey kissing moment, that's what he's known for most.
She was pretty fine though. You know what I'm saying?
Call him McBee. That's all I gotta say. But yes, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I thought I was so excited for this 6-episode reboot.
Yeah, same.
They're doing like that in between period. You know what I mean? After episode 3, before episode 4 type shit. They're trying to connect everything, and then they choose to do this whole bit where it's like about Leia when she's a kid, which I'm okay with. The actress, I'm not gonna say anything. You know, she's a kid. I thought it was cute and all that stuff. I'm okay with.
You thought she was
But I just felt like if you're gonna
She should
take
quit
that
acting.
time, you said that. I just felt like if you're gonna take that time and you're gonna bring back 2 of the most legendary and iconic stories or people, aka literally Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, and they come back and they even brought Hayden Christensen back in order to do this. It just felt underwhelming. It felt like they were taking like what could have been the satisfaction that die-hard Star Wars fans from 2 different generations could come to the table and like be like, yo, we're fucking about this, and they like kind of like just went somewhere else with it. They tried to fill in some other gaps, and they didn't do it justice in a certain way as a fan where I wanted to see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader just have either more depth or more.
But
and
you,
they
you
had
got
it.
through the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so they did have. I mean, they had it, but
They
you're
had
saying
it.
you had to wait too long, or
Maybe they just they put too much focus on like the story of like Leia and all that, so that Obi-Wan's entire mission was, again, spoiler alert for anybody who didn't watch it.
sure.
But he just kind of goes around. It's really just more about her and like figuring out and making sure that she's safe.
Princess
and
Leia
stuff like
lives.
that.
Spoiler alert, you dumb fuck.
It's been a while though, no?
It just felt like it wasn't where I wanted it to be is all, and I get that. I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm just saying like, oh man, it was like Obi-Wan Kenobi's like full story, but they made it more about like.
In my opinion, it had problems. Like I totally know what you're talking about, but I think my problem is I'm so biased because I like the character so much. I was just like happy to hang with him again.
Sure, I still watched it.
Yeah. But and the way that they closed it out, I think episodes 5 and 6 were dope because they closed it out like focusing on the relationship between the two. Like with Anakin and Vader, and like that, even that mask open moment was tight, right?
That was
even
cool.
though that was lifted apparently from another part, which I hadn't seen in Star Wars before.
What's Lucas's involvement in all these new ones? Like storytelling or anything? Because I think that's probably what fucked it up.
He gets a check.
He's there as like a bud.
Yeah.
I think he was on set. He was on set, but he's not part of the creative.
So he's just there to eat the catering and hang out with his friends.
They did. I do enjoy that they busted another Val Kilmer with Top Gun Maverick, and they did that with James Earl Jones' voice and brought back him via AI.
By
that
the way,
was cool.
it's flawless.
It's so good.
It sounds like James Earl Jones.
I thought it was like another voice actor who just was mimicking, but then I was like, luckily we had just did the whole bit on fucking Val Kilmer, talking about how they AI'd his voice, so I had to look it up because I was like, this is too fucking good.
Wait, they AI'd his voice on fucking
James Earl Jones or Val Kilmer?
on
He had throat cancer.
No, because they play into that character. If you watch it, they play into like that character having the certain sickness or whatever. And I was just like, oh shit, this is crazy. Like, you know, they fucking made it work.
So Val's been in so much stuff, like James Earl Jones. They synthesized it and they created an AI that helps to just plug and play like whatever dialogue they want, and it's like
he had very little though. Like most of it, it was interesting how they did it without too much spoiling. But then like he would type on the computer, and then he would communicate with them like that. Yeah.
That's because he literally can't speak really.
So James Earl Jones, you know, the voice of Darth Vader, he had nothing to do with Obi-Wan at all. But they obviously pay him a royalty because they're using like an amalgamation of all of his voices like from the past performances and like just splicing them together to create this AI that's actually making the voice like fill in the blanks. It's crazy. It's kind of like how they do deepfakes. They actually take an actor who looks similar to the actor that you're trying to make, and then they project that on top. But they need that base layer of like similarity in order to.
And then they put this thing in and it's like, I could eat a peach for hours.
You know how there's Star Wars fans, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Star Trek fans, right? So and then there's a lot of people battling between the two. But I'm so underground. I'm a Stargate fan.
Dude, Stargate
SG-1?
Stargate's sick.
That's the guy who does the voice acting from God of War.
Richard Dean Anderson?
Right?
Oh, you're talking about Teal'c.
Teal'c? The one that looks like he's always smelling shit?
The guy with the symbol on his head?
Yeah.
He's a great voice actor.
He's got that deep voice, and he plays the main lead character, aka Kratos in God of War, and he got an award for it because it was so fucking good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he always looks like he smells some shit.
He could have been, in my opinion, he could have been Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Because he has that fucking voice and that presence and shit, but he just got stuck on a shitty TV show cover.